Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm back with the Slim Mint wallet as an as seen on TV wallet. They say it has a thin profile, allows you to access your cards with the press of a button, and has RFID blocking. But does it really work? Let's find out in today's video. I unboxed this yesterday and here's how that went. I paid about 20 bucks for this direct from the Bulbhead website. There is an Amazon listing with only a small number of reviews where it has a 4.3 star rating as of today. We've got some instructions, always important. Now the claims, they say it's an RFID blocking ultra thin wallet. They say you can reach your cards and cash with the press of a button, which I guess is right there. They say it holds ID, cash, or pictures, and has a built-in cash clip, which would be right here. There's not a lot of reviews on Amazon yet. There's a few positive comments talking about its durable build and its slim design. There's a few negative comments that say it has limited capacity and feels cheap. I should also point out that as of right now, 14 of the 17 reviews on Amazon all say bind custom reviews of a free product. So take that into consideration when looking at the reviews. Now, before I even use this, the first thing I want to do is recreate one of their demonstrations. And it seems like every SC on TV wallet does the same demonstration where they have a table full of stuff and they load up the wallet with everything. I'm not sure how useful that is because I don't think most people have that much stuff in their wallet, but let's see how accurate those claims are. Let's see how slim this really is. Now, just the dimensions here are, it's like about 2 3/4 roughly, 4 3/8. And how thick is this? About 3/4 of an inch thick. Now, compared to the wallet I normally use, this one right at 5 inches, so it's definitely longer, just under 4 inches, and the thickness, I mean, it's under a 1/2 inch thick, even at the thickest part, under a 1/2 inch, even the thickest part. Because this is rigid, no matter how much you have in there, it's going to be this thick. So compared to what I'm used to, it's considerably thicker. On the commercial, they show quite a few things going in here, and I figured I'd try to duplicate that as best I can. So by my count, they had 7 paper cards, 6 plastic cards, an ID, 6 bills, and 2 checks. So for my paper cards, I'm just going to use some of these business cards of mine. For my credit cards, I'm going to use a couple of hotel keys, and the only thing I actually gamble on in Vegas, which are these games where you get Willy Wonka cards, I got some of these. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Instead of showing my ID, I'm going to use a Charlie bucket as my ID. I've got 6 bills here, and I've got a key. I couldn't find checks that were the small enough to fit in there, so I'm going to leave the checks off. If all this can fit in there, that's fine. I don't care about the checks. The first thing I want to say is this middle piece of plastic feels pretty cheap. That is just cheap plastic. The outside feels pretty rugged, but this part, the part that they name it after, the mint part, not so much. They were putting all the cards in these 3 sections, the cash, checks, and the key right here. Let's try that. They didn't really address this either. I guess you could still use this, but they didn't really address that in the commercial. Start sliding these in here. I do like the way it kind of fits in there snugly. It's not going to fall out. It's pretty snug. I like that. Same with this side. There seems to be something that kind of holds them in place. I do like that about it. I've got all 6 of my credit cards in there. Let's try my business cards. Can I squeeze them all in here? Oh, this is getting tight. I already damaged the corner of this one. And this is getting pretty tight too. Oh man, I don't know if I'm going to fit all those in there. This one, I can't even, it doesn't even have a room. I guess I can try to fit all those in here. I was hoping to just put my ID right there, but we'll try. Can fit 1 business card. Now, see, this holds it very snug. I'm not sure if I can, I can't fit 3 in there. I'm just going to put my Charlie bucket ID in there and call it good. So I feel like I can't fit those in there. Now I've got my 6 bills here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 bills, I'm going to fold them over, stick them underneath. They didn't really use this in the commercial. I guess you can, but they didn't. They're just using this as a money clip right here, and they put the key right there. Now, will it close? It's not closing. Even without the 3 cards, it's still not going to close. This one's sticking up. I'm going to take this one out. Actually, both of those are. All right, it closed. So really I have 6 credit cards and 2 business cards in here. So I mean, maybe the claims, maybe you could squeeze it all in there if you really try, but to me it's not very practical. To me, practical is 6 credit cards, some cash, and a couple of business cards, and that is it. So now it's time for the real world test to see how comfortable this is and how practical it is to access my cards. I'm going to load up with my actual cards and my actual ID, use it for the next week and see what happens. So I'm not really convinced that demonstration really proves anything. I don't have nearly that much stuff in my wallet, so stuffing it full of items really doesn't prove a whole lot to me. So what I've done is I put all of my things in here, which isn't nearly as much as they show in the ad. I'll use it for a few days and I'll let you know how it holds up. Now, as far as the RFID blocking goes, I have to say I'm in the school of thought that thinks that that's not really necessary. I'll give you some links below as to why I don't think it's necessary. But if you are concerned about RFID blocking, all you have to do is stick a piece of tinfoil in any wallet and it becomes an RFID blocking wallet. I also can't really test that feature, so it's something I'm just going to kind of skip for this review. But as far as the wallet itself goes, I'm going to use this for a while and let you know how it holds up. Now, my first observation is that no matter how much you put in there, it's going to be the same thickness. My normal wallet will get thicker as I add stuff to it, but this one is thick already out of the gate. So I'll give you an update in a few days and let you know how it works. But right now, I think that demonstration didn't really prove much. So let's see how a real world situation does as far as proving how well the Slim Mint wallet actually works. I've been using it a few days and this is how it usually goes. Reach in my pocket and I never know if I'm gonna get the button on my hand side or not. So sometimes I pull it out and I'm just like this, oh, where's the button? Oh, there it is. That's really the only problem I've encountered so far. Otherwise it opens up, get my card out, no big deal. Overall though, it's worked pretty well as far as using it, pulling out and accessing my cards. I haven't had much of a problem with it overall. When I'm sitting on a soft seat like the one in this car, it's not too bad. I thought it was going to be kind of unforgiving because it's so rigid, and it is unforgiving on harder seats. But something like this in the car, it really isn't that bad. Now, when I sit at my desk, that's a different story. Now, I should point out, if you're someone who prefers your wallet in your front pocket, the thickness doesn't really matter as far as that goes, and the size is nice for that. It's actually quite well suited for those who have their wallets in their front pockets. I tend to have my wallet in my back pocket, which has its own challenges. Now, I was kind of worried that maybe sitting on a hard surface with this kind of rigid wallet would be a problem, but it's so small, it tends to kind of move around, moves out of the way. I haven't had a problem with it being uncomfortable, even though it's thick. But I do have a new problem that's arisen after a couple days of use, and that has to do with the clasp right here. Bailey wants to be on camera today. Bailey, you want a wallet? I don't think Bailey has room for a wallet. Where are you going to store this wallet at? I think I'm at about day 6 now, and I think around day 4, I started encountering kind of a new slight issue. Now, let me see, right now it's in my pocket. Now, it's not too uncomfortable. Like I said, it kind of moves around in your pocket. I don't really have a problem with it being uncomfortable when I sit on it most of the time. Now, right now, it is perfectly closed. It is clasped. That's because I've been sitting on it. If I open it up, go to close it up, I'm getting that. If I squeeze it hard enough, it'll eventually close, but I've got the original bills I had from my first demonstration, my ID, 3 credit cards, 2 business cards, not very much. At first I was thinking that maybe I wasn't putting the cards all the way in, it wasn't closing that way, but they're all the way in. I've double checked it, there's nowhere else to go, and it's still doing that. If I squeeze it really hard, it'll clasp, but that seems just kind of janky for a new wallet I just got. I don't know, it's kind of weird. I kind of like this wallet in some ways. It's kind of unusual. I like the layout of it. The clasp is a big issue, and the fact that it stays thick no matter how much is in there. But I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence. I don't dislike it as much as I thought I might. I think the clasp is going to be a big issue. I can't imagine this lasting long term if after 4 days we got that. What do you think, Bailey? Bailey's not very impressed either. All right, so I've been using this for about a week now, and here are some of my final thoughts on the Slim Mint wallet. I actually kind of like it, even despite its flaws. And it does have some flaws, but what I do like about it, I kind of like the layout. When you open up, you got cards here, you got your card here, you got your cash here. So I do kind of like the layout when you open it up. It's kind of funny, it has the word Slim in its name when it's one of the thickest wallets I've reviewed. Now, there are some things I don't like about it, like I don't like the clasp. Now, if you can really squeeze hard and make it stay in place, but it tends to not want to close. I'm also not a fan of the money like this. I just like an old school wallet. You can get out what you want, leave the rest in there. On this one, you got to take everything completely out. I'm not a fan of that. But I'm going to keep using this because I wonder how long this clasp is going to hold up. If after a week it's already doing this, how will it be after a month or 2? I'm going to keep using it, and I'll let you know down the road how it's held up. But if you've used a Slim Mint wallet, tell me what you think in the comments below. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.